Yo, what up? This is Sean, and I'm gonna make a video today, quickly just trying to... It's so crazy how easy it is to judge how you're doing something and then defeat yourself before you even get going. I don't like the way my voice sounds. I don't like the way... It's like, even if you talk efficiently for 60 seconds straight, if you pause or if you feel like you stumble, then I feel like the whole thing is just shot and done. But I'm more than able to speak. There are numerous pathways to enlightenment, but for me, the pathway that I've chosen and that I'm going to talk about today in this video is fitness, physicality, health and wellness. I think it's overlooked as a pathway. Most spiritual pathways people prescribe to people who are trying to have peace of mind and acquire all those things that I talked about earlier as the benefits of what we would consider a spiritual person to have. Most of the pathways prescribed are through knowledge, books, school, reading, philosophy, religion, Christianity. Most of them are through the mind. Using your brain and your mind to reach a certain level of knowledge, which will then help you wake up, is the normal course prescribed to humanity, or that people talk about mostly. It's the one that I spent the past 8 years also pursuing while also using fitness. I was using fitness accidentally, so I'm going to get into that in a second. But the main way people usually do it is through the mind and through knowledge. It can be done, but I don't think it's the best way to do it for me. And I'm going to share my personal experience with my pathway so that hopefully anyone else listening who didn't know that they could use this as a pathway can. I think it's a faster pathway. And also, people like myself who didn't even know they were using it as a pathway can realize they are, or that it's there for them, and then they can double down on it and gain peace of mind and spiritual enlightenment faster. Really quickly about me, the past 8 years my whole life I've played sports. Past 8 years I've been in a gym, lifting weights, doing yoga, trying to create, mold, build a body that I found physically appealing, mostly for vain purposes, at least initially. And then eventually you become addicted to the process of sweating, adrenaline, lifting weights, testosterone. The process becomes addicting in and of itself. And then the way you look becomes the cherry on top. But regardless of that, it did start off as vain for my ego and accolades. And I think that that's fine. And I think that it started me on a pathway I didn't know I was using for spirituality until recently. One of the main reasons, I'm going to make thousands of videos on this topic and how-tos and what you should be doing and all that. But the main thing I want to try to get across is one main point, and it's the aspect of love. I think I can really make clear what I'm trying to say about fitness being a pathway to spiritual enlightenment through the concept of love. I think it's unarguable someone who has received spiritual enlightenment is full of love. They love themselves, they love the world, they love everyone else around them. Yes, bad things come and go. People may be mean to them. They may have to have a stern conversation with somebody, or even do things that people may perceive as rude or angry or mean. But overarchingly, they feel love in their heart. They're connected to the emotion of love, and they give and receive love freely. I think that goes without question, and we can all agree on that. Now, try to follow me on this. I have not tried to describe this before, so I'm fleshing this out to this camera, to you right now. for the first time. If you live in a body and with a life that you don't love, if you don't love yourself, it's very hard to hold on to and have an abundance of love in your heart that you can share with other people and that you can feel inside of you if you don't give it to yourself first. One of the easiest ways to give love to yourself, in my opinion, is to take action and change something that makes you unhappy. I personally did not like my body. It was fine. Most people would probably say you're an average looking 17-year-old kid. I didn't like it. I wasn't fat, I wasn't overweight, but I just was pudgy, no muscle tone, and I wanted better. If you don't love the body you're living in, you have the ability through diet and exercise to physically change it over the course of time. Let's just say brass tacks. You literally change your diet, you change your exercise program, and you make your body something you're proud of, you're going to feel more love for yourself. And the more you're actually able to give love to yourself, the more you're able to feel love in general, and then the more love you can give to the world, which is moving you down that pathway closer to spiritual enlightenment. Obviously, in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do that in order to feel love for yourself. You should be able, and there are many other ways to generate love from within. But I think physically moving your body, you're here on earth in a body. It's your vehicle. You're supposed to use it. You're supposed to take care of it. It's supposed to be challenged. And one way to build love for yourself is to go through that body, make it move, use it in specific ways so that it changes into a form that you feel like you are proud of and that you love. And also through actual physical movements, you stir up emotions, hormones, and reactions inside your own body that make it easier to feel. So for the past 7 years probably, I was doing my whole fitness adventure separate from my spiritual adventure. I spent 7 years building a body and doing fitness for the vain reasons of looking better and also feeling good when I'm in the gym and performing better at athletic endeavors. And it was beautiful and amazing and I loved it, but it was always separate from me reading every spiritual book I could get my hands on, reading the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, every religious book I ever made, listening and reading Alan Watts, Ram Dass, Ilchi Lee, Taoism, Buddhism, studying everything I could, philosophy, going to UNF as a philosophy major. They were always separate. And I recently realized that they're not separate. They're completely intertwined and woven together, and one complements the other significantly. And that blew my mind the first time I realized that fitness was a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. And not only is it a pathway, now that I see it, I can tell that it's a much more efficient and faster pathway, because what I was doing with my brain and my mind was using my mind to fix the problems of my mind. Your eye can't see itself. Your teeth can't bite themselves. The mind can't fix the mind. Problems that you have within your mind that are self-generated by your mind can't be thought into completion or into fixing. You have to physically live life and feel emotions and do things concretely in a physical world in order to shift the way your mind and your body and your emotions and your hormones feel, change, and adapt to life. And it blew my mind. So I think the point of this video is sort of a coming out for myself to let you know that I'm going to be speaking on this topic and giving you thousands of practices and things to do, literally, physically, but also tying together two concepts. One, the fact that fitness is a pathway to spirituality, welcoming you to try to use it, or at least being aware that it's there for you as an option. And then lastly, the aspect of fitness creating love, and love creating spiritual completion. That's all I wanted to talk about. It's very hard to try to articulate these things that I feel and what I'm trying to do here. I'm doing it for you, for anyone who's going to benefit from this. I've debated becoming a person who speaks to a camera and tries to get any message across for a long time. I've always been a teacher, as far as being a personal trainer or coaching my friends or just a coach in general. So it's definitely in my future to be some sort of teacher, but for the longest time, I didn't want to bring anything to the table until I could take my ego out of it. My ego has driven most of my life, like I alluded to with my fitness journey earlier. And I want to make sure, A, that I'm qualified to bring information forward, and B, that it's coming from a place of genuinely trying to do something with it instead of trying to become famous or look cool to a social media platform. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that was the point of this video, and there's going to be a lot more to come, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.